Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Oh, happy Monday, and welcome to Run It Back. We are officially in the postseason of this here NBA season.
Let's go.
Lou Will, Chandler P, Michelle B. Look at us in our black and white situation we got going on up here. We'd like to shout out Boogie, who is still awaiting Game 3 in a 7-game series.
Go get one, Boogie.
Come on, dude.
Don't start that.
Or don't
get
just
one.
come back.
No,
to us.
you represent us all right now.
Exactly.
You know what's crazy? The season ended last night, and we still
did.
have 2.5 more months.
I know, every year we do this.
Season ends, but now it begins.
Now it's very deep. Thank you for that. But we actually aren't going to start with the games or the teams themselves. We're going to start with a gentleman who spent some time with us last week. I think we're historic in this, guys. Doc Rivers out after 3 seasons. Shams, shout out, reporting that, departing. 32-50 was how they finished this bad boy up. They missed the playoffs for the first time since 15-16. He finishes 97 and 103 over those 3 seasons, which included 2 first-round playoff losses. And he's also reporting, and this is the important part, you will get paid for the final year on that deal.
He's no dummy.
Look, Lou, it is funny that we literally had him on last week. Maybe we're his last televised interview.
A good one, might I add.
I think it was a great one. Do you think this was a great decision on both parts? Like, he's not interested in a rebuild, right?
Yeah, I think it ran its course, for what they brought Doc there to do, and the purpose of him being the coach and them seeking him out. I think that's run its course. He's went out and publicly and said, I wanted this job. I wanted to have an opportunity to coach Giannis. I wanted an opportunity to coach Dame and have those 2 guys. And when you look at that and you leave a TV job to go coach those 2 guys, you're like, you know what? This is all right little gig right here. I think I can get down with this. And now that Dame is gone, it looks like Giannis is on the outskirts, and his tenure in the 3 seasons that he was there just didn't go as planned. They didn't have as much success as planned. It was injury riddled, and now we're starting to get into the messy part of it. So, at this point, it was time for, I think, everybody to go to their corners and reevaluate which direction we're going to go in. For Doc individually, Giannis as a player, Bucks as an organization, Dame has since left, and dealing with his injury, being back in Portland. Everything that they built for all of those pieces to work together is shattered now, so I don't think it was much of a reason for Doc to stay there. So I'm sure, he'll go back to TV work or be around his family and all of those things that, he laid out for us last week in his interview that he did with us. But yeah, I think this was the right decision for all parties involved. And I also think it was the right time as well.
Yeah, this roster and this team is not why he took this job. Like Lou just said, he came there to win a championship. He came there to coach Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, not this season. And so I think it's a great move for both sides. Like, Doc Rivers just got elected to the Hall of Fame. Like, he's not interested in a rebuilding kind of situation where he's going to have to start all over. Like, he is a Hall of Fame type coach. He is 6th all-time in wins. He shouldn't go and coach this team next year because they are nowhere near a championship contention. And the whole drama with Giannis most likely not being there, why would he have any interest in this? And same thing for the Milwaukee Bucks. Why would they have interest in a Doc Rivers when they can go and get a Jared Dudley? They can go and get a first-time head coach, an assistant now to kind of grow and rebuild with whatever future assets that they decide to hang on to or go and get. So I think it's a smart move. Doc is going to get paid. I jokingly said to him last week, I wish if he's done coaching, go to Orlando and run the front office, be with your grandkids like you said.
That's fair.
That would be awesome, but I don't think...
Or also, hear me out, just chill.
Just chill, play golf.
64,
hit Bel Air.
Chill.
Yeah, I don't think he's done in the NBA. Maybe as a coach, but I think he is such a personality. He's such a basketball savant. He's got so many connections and so much
He's going to do TV.
intelligence.
It's going to be something.
He's back to
TV
TV.
or front office where he can go and play
There's
his golf, see his
nothing
kids.
more stress-free than the TV side of this. Just go do that. I mean, look at the Van Gundy. Like, look at Stan. Like,
look at us.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you've ever been stressed out a day in your life, but he's 64 years old. He's good at TV. I mean, I worked with him as an intern when he was on TV with the Spurs. Like, I think that's what, if he's going to do anything, I would guess.
Do you think he knew when he did the interview?
Yes.
1,000%. Knowing Doc and his personality, while we were in the interview, I'm looking at him, I'm like, he's very candid. You know, usually Doc is a guy that holds his cards close to his chest, and he doesn't really show a lot. He's not going to tell you a lot unless he has a point to prove, unless he has something that he wants to get out and he wants to say. During that interview, it felt like he had some talking points. He had a few things that he wanted to get off his chest. And I'm like, as a head coach, he's mighty candid in this interview.
And just go right on back to that office.
You know what I mean? And so it was a lot of different things that he addressed in that I thought was interesting for him to be the head coach of a team. You know, he took a couple digs at Shams. And, you know, he spoke about briefly the Cam Thomas situation and some of these things that were out there in the air. And he was able to clear some of those things up and also give his point of view on some of those things as well. And so I was kind of looking at that in that lens of, this is probably the last time we see Doc as a head coach based on how candid he was in the interview and the things he was willing to talk about and be open about.
He said he missed Woj.
Yeah.
That is above and beyond rude.
That was a bomb out the door. That was a Woj bomb out the door.
Can we get a Doc Shams on the Jake Paul card?
Can we? How about this? Can we never get a Jake Paul card again?
Yeah, well, that works too.
I think I'd rather just do that.
That would also be great.
Also would be great for the world. But that being said, he did say he missed Woj, which Shams, just so you know, we did laugh because we love you. But then Shams did get a little probably joy out of reporting the fact that this was over yesterday.
The fact that Doc had some zingers for Shams, and then literally a couple days later he got to report that he was getting fired, or quitting, whatever. I know Shams. I think this probably felt good a little bit. But listen, Shams is a good guy. Shams, we love you here, so don't worry about it. Don't get your feelings. Don't get up in your feelings, but this is definitely, you know, I think over time something that's obviously frustrated Doc, and he really aired it out.
Man, he really did. I've never heard anybody say that. That being said, when this is all said and done, if this does end up, in fact, Lou being his final coaching job, let's just for you personally, what do you think of when you think of Doc Rivers, the coach, first? Is it Boston? Is it going to be this?
Yeah, I think of Boston. Definitely think of that. To have so many dynamic personalities on the team and to be able to manage that and get a championship out of it and have deep playoff runs with that group, that's when I began to admire Doc as a coach, you know, looking at that group. And I was like, man, that's a cool coach. I wouldn't mind playing for him one day. And eventually, you know, he saved a great portion of my career by me having my best years of my career with Doc Rivers. So hopefully he's remembered as somebody that won, as somebody that motivated and was a positive influence on young men, not just on the basketball court, but off the court. You know, one thing that stood out to me with Doc, every single time we went to Memphis, it was a mandatory stop for us to go to the Children's Hospital.
Oh, I love that.
That was mandatory. It didn't matter whether we got in late. The next day, we were gonna go to the Children's Hospital in Memphis. Other places. We went to Hawaii for training camp.
Whoa.
It was a point for us to go see Pearl Harbor, to understand what the history was and all of these different things. So outside of basketball, the things that he introduced us to as men and tried to instill in us will be something that I will always remember Doc for. And I'm glad I got to tell him last week. It's not like he's dying or something, so, you know, it's like a funeral in here.
No, but it was nice. Good timing.
It was good for me to tell him publicly what he meant to my career. And so that's how I always remember Doc. I know there is a gray area with him when it comes to his former players. Either you love Doc or you hate him, and that is what it is. I'm on the love Doc side. He changed my life, changed the trajectory of my career and how it went and how people look at me. And so I want him to be remembered as that. You know, unfortunately, I was part of one of his 3 1s. Yeah. And so being
Lou.
You know, being on the outside looking in, I can't leave all of that responsibility on him. You know, I think as a collective, we just didn't get it done. And so that's something that he will be talked about. You know, that's one of the things that'll come up on his resume as the 3-1 thing, and I just hate it. You know, I wish he won more. He's the sixth most winning coach in NBA history, but I want him to be remembered in a positive light as far as coaching goes.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, he was always a coach I wanted to play for. Like, I never was in the locker room. Like, and growing up in Orlando, when I first fell in love with basketball, he was the coach of the Magic. So, like, he was kind of like my intro to my favorite team. He was the head coach. He kind of got Orlando going there for a little bit. I think he was only there for like 4 or 5 years. And so that was like kind of my intro to him. And then I got to know him and his family. His son, Jeremiah, played on my AU team. I went to college with Callie, like when she played volleyball at Florida. So like I've known him for such a long time. I've always wanted that opportunity to get to play, for him, and never got to. But I know, like, we've seen him at the golf course together. I know he's a great dude, and when I think of him, I think of just those years. I think of him kind of bringing the Magic to relevance. I kind of remember him winning the championship with Anything Is Possible, Kevin Garnett, Boston Celtics, Lob City, and the teams that Lou played on. I remember that. A lot of people are going to beat a dead horse with the 3-1 and the comebacks and stuff.
It's a heck of a stat.
At the end of the day, he has 1,194 wins, and he's probably a top 10 coach of all time, and he's had a hell of a career. So cheers to him. And
he's going to take a ton of money with him on the way out the door.
That's all that matters, guys.
Joke's on you.
In real life, that's a flex.
He won. He won.
So.
By the way, is that a Milgauss? I want you to look at that one.
It's a good watch.
I'm going to go ahead and get started on to the next
And
topic.
he's not done. Can't you picture this guy in the front office, like kind of running a team or like TV or anything?
I don't.
TV.
I see him in TV.
He's got a personality.
I think he's gotten to a point where he wouldn't mind being around the game, but in a stress-free environment where it's not so much.
Yeah, you're adored.
But it's safe to say he's not done in the NBA.
No, he's not.
And
It's
whatever
100%.
capacity
He saw how much fun Austin was having doing his TV gig. He said, you know what, I want a piece of that.
I can work and go play golf.
You know what I mean?
Want and not have to go to
People
these
bring
cities.
you things like you don't have to think. Oh yeah, no, just do the TV side. We had the Denver Nuggets playing the San Antonio Spurs last night. This was their final, the big finale for both. 128-118 win for Denver. They do get that 3 seed in the West, despite the fact that starters sat minus the 18 minutes Jokic gave us in order to go ahead and qualify for the 65 games. There's so many layers of that 65 game rule over the weekend. In the process, they also just happened to put together a nice 12-game win streak to end the regular season, which also now means that the 2 seed Spurs are probably going to have to face Denver in the conference semis, I swear.
That's Lou.
And the Thunder in the conference finals.
I turned my volume down.
This is kind of what Spurs fans are waking up to a little bit today. Both of you are the worst. Are they going to regret? I mean, look, I'm not saying, Wemby didn't play, but are they going to regret this? Regret not maybe taking this final game a little bit more seriously?
I don't think so. I think they've had a great season. I think they've done all they can do. They've basically solidified, their seed. And to get out of the West, it's going to be a dogfight regardless, right? A lot of these teams, you're going to have to go through the Nuggets, you're going to have to go through the Thunder, or vice versa, with teams having to go for the Spurs. This is a loaded conference. Like, think about it. Like, the Denver Nuggets had such a great. Congrats, you get Minnesota Timberwolves, who
they do hate each other.
That's insane. And then the Lakers kind of had a roller coaster up and down, and now they get the Rockets, who I think would be a more favorable matchup for the Nuggets. Not saying that would be easy for the Lakers, but it all comes down to matchups, and this is going to be a tough, long series, I think, for Denver. I still think they have the advantage, they have the edge, but the Western Conference is going to be insane. I said this from jump. I think whoever comes out of the Western Conference is going to win the NBA championship, but it's not going to be easy. And someone was on our show last week. They said, you know what? The only advantage the East has is that the Western Conference series, they're going to go 6-7. They're going to beat each other up. They're going to beat each other up, and then by the time the Celtics or the Pistons get there, they might be fresh. But these series are going to be unbelievable. Even on the Eastern Conference, there's some really good series brewing. But this one in particular, Denver, Minnesota.
Yeah, there's some bad blood there.
Yeah, but I would ask, opposed to what route? Like
I guess.
Opposed to what route?
They all suck.
You can't duck it. You can't duck it. We spoke all year about how strong the Western Conference is. Now here we are. There are no easy routes. You're talking about a Phoenix Suns team that's going to play Portland for an opportunity for their spot. Both of these teams have been relatively decent this year. Yeah. You got the Clippers matched up with Golden State for another play-in spot. You got Minnesota Timberwolves at a 6th spot. The Lakers and the Houston Rockets at a 4 and 5. Where is the easier route? There's no way around it. You're going to run into Hall of Famers no matter what. And so if you're a young San Antonio Spurs team, why not go through the rigors? Why not go through it? Listen. If we really want this, let's go through everybody that they said is going to be a better team than us to get there, so we got to do it.
Yeah, think about I'm saying the Lakers get a favorable matchup. Now they get Kevin Durant. That sucks too. So the conference is so
It was either Kevin Durant or it was going to be Ant Edwards or it was going to be somebody.
The play-in, obviously the Warriors are banged up, but the play-in, the 9-10 is the Clippers.
I think there's
Warriors.
some surprise there to happen. I think they're going to shock the world.
That is insane. And you know what else I like about these games, Beats? Carter Bryant got an opportunity to play more and more. The kid is a stud. That guy didn't play all year long. I
like how you always champion somebody.
Flashes.
We have
Curtis Jones on the Nuggets. He just goes nuts.
Do you mean slam dunk participant Carter Bryant?
Did you see what he did to Jokic? Where he bite him and just.
No, he's a big body dude.
I think this guy doesn't play. Are you kidding me?
He has had flashes.
But I love these games where these guys get opportunities, and now come playoff time, they might get thrown in there and thrown in the fire, and it just kind of kickstarts their career. This kid Carter Bryant. He
You
showed.
a big CB fan now?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
CB to
get
the
you-
moon.
jersey.
The race for space.
God, yes. A lot of people thought, I mean, look, we could think whatever we want, but they say, the coach says we're not ducking anybody, all that. Do you think that there was some angling going on the parts of the, like
1000%.
Denver,
Yeah.
for example, trying not to get Timberwolves?
I told you guys a couple weeks ago, we're going to start seeing some chess get played because, there's no easy route, but there are favorable matchups individually. Like as a team, you like playing this team, they might have beat us once, might have beat us twice, but we didn't have any fear of them. We feel like we can adjust some things, and this is a better matchup for us. And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of these teams angled and found their way and found something that they feel like that worked for them. On the outside looking in, it probably don't make sense to us.
Right.
But on analytics or the numbers side or just a vibe check side, a lot of these teams, they probably found the matchups that they wanted to begin with.
And on the Eastern Conference, I'm sure we'll get there, there's a little more confusing of chess that I think was played there that might come back to bite you in the ass, but you don't really know, right? And again, when the conference
really
is so stacked, like you can't mess with the game like that. You can't go and try and get your advantage or your point, because you're still gonna have to go out there and execute and play. So like the Denver Nuggets, to get out of the Western Conference, think about it. They have to pretty much beat everybody. Like,
Yeah.
So do the Thunder. So do the Spurs. Like, there's going to be no easy out. So again, like Lou said, there could be like internally like a more favorable matchup that we know and we're kind of like in the back of our minds hoping that we get. But like,
Selfishly.
there's nothing easy about any of these series.
Are you guys excited about this?
I am.
Do we think this Denver-Minnesota first round, does this thing go the distance?
I got all of these going.
Does it go? I
I
don't
feels
know.
like they
Does it
might.
go? I don't know who wins.
I got every
I
single
feel
one
like
of
the
these
Thunder
going
might be the
seven.
only ones that maybe don't have.
Who wins?
Who wins
We're
what?
saying the series.
Oh,
I'm saying,
the-
do we think it goes the distance? Hell yeah, I don't even know who's gonna win.
Man, I'm not.
I gotta
honestly,
take the Nuggets, but like, would you be surprised if
No.
Minnesota beat them 4-2?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
wouldn't.
all the way sold. So that's the point that you're making. Like I
Yeah.
really don't know whether it's gonna be Denver or Minnesota. I like both of these teams.
You want
Well-
a hot take?
Oh God, yes.
We would love a hot take.
You know we love hot takes.
Here
It's
we
not
go.
that hot. Denver in 5.
Oh, that's warm.
I mean, considering 2 seconds ago you said I
I
don't
know,
know
but
who's
I
going to
thought about it. I was like, nah, they're just got
You
the
didn't
best
think,
player.
you didn't think long.
Denver in 5
Denver in
is the
5.
hot take. Okay, honestly, that is a bit of a hot take. I don't know that a lot of people would agree with you on that, but fine, we'll take it. Lakers get the 4 seed after all is said and done
Well played.
because of the clinching there. Yeah. They faced the Rockets in the first round. They did win that season series 2-1, but however, they also had 2 other gentlemen that were present and accounted for in those games. That being said, JJ Redick said after those guys went down, that being Luka and Austin Reeves, that everybody wants to face a hobbled Lakers squad, and everyone has the Rockets as a heavy favorite as well. Is there a world, Lou, in which that sentiment, and even pertains to the Houston Rockets themselves, perhaps they walk into this series just a little too, this will be easy because they're hobbled?
I think they're going to take care of business, but I also feel like the Houston Rockets realize they have a great opportunity to advance with a hobbled team. You know, you got your top 1 and 2 guys out. Now you're relying on a 41-year-old LeBron James to turn into LeBron James. And listen, that's not going to be an easy thing as well. He's going to get these guys motivated and to the point where he can micromanage a game and try to put himself in a position to advance. But it's going to be an uphill. It's going to be an uphill climb. But if I'm the Houston Rockets, I feel good about it. I'm looking around the Western Conference and I'm thinking, out of all of these teams, no Luka, no Austin Reeves. This is a great opportunity for us to springboard our way into the second round and give ourselves an opportunity to win a championship just like everybody else. So Houston, I'm sure they're hella confident. I don't think they're going to take this opportunity lightly. I think they get connected. And if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, I recognize that. I'm reading the room as well, and I'm doing everything I can to go into this series prepared.
Luka and Reeves, they haven't been ruled out, right? They're gonna.
I mean, he's having his second at
Based on the
Luka.
timing, it's kind of
Yeah.
See, this is
running
again
close.
This is the situation we're talking about where like this is a favorable match. Like if you're the Rockets, like you're like, okay, let's like this is it.
Am I
But that
crazy to
doesn't-
say you better win?
But
Like,
that doesn't that doesn't guarantee you.
pressure's on Houston now.
Exactly. Now
100%.
Houston is expected to win. Now they're playing against a banged up team. But when these teams are fully healthy, I wouldn't necessarily. I would go the other way. Like
Sure.
the Lakers
Correct.
were the hottest team in basketball there for a little bit. They're so dangerous offensively. Both these teams are top 10 in offense. The advantage, obviously, is that the Lakers can't really get stops. I think they're 19th in defense, and the Rockets are 5th in defense. So they're more versatile. They're a more balanced team. But it's all going to be health. What version of Luka and Austin Reeves do we even get if they do
don't
play?
think we do.
So that automatically gives Houston the advantage, but it's still not going to be easy because the Lakers can still outscore you and run you out of the gym.
Isn't Austin Reeves like a 6 to 8 week thing, and Luka's overseas right now getting stuff done?
Yeah, that's the timing. The
good.
timing couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
But it was
I can't
anticipated.
imagine them being out.
Well, it was also anticipated. It is what it is. That's how injuries work, Chandler.
I know, but
you know how the human body works, but it's not their choice.
They'll play.
Okay, wow, that's a hot take.
There you go.
You want to put that hot take out
I
there?
think Luka more so than Austin Reeves. Like his
he's getting some-
his timetable is off. Luka's in Slovenia getting some non-FDA approved injections or something.
Where's he? Switzerland, Germany?
Wherever he is, he's not
didn't
here.
You go
So
do
he's
that?
I did.
Is it magic?
I played.
Interesting.
How fast?
Interesting.
Not very fast. Oh, you mean like physically?
How long did it take you to?
This stuff lasts like 3 months. Well, by the way, I'm talking about Regenikine. I don't even know if that's what he's doing, but that stuff is.
He's Regina something. He's got to be.
That stuff is magical. When it wears off, woo.
Well, we're not worried about that. You're just at this point, no one's worried about that.
I just can't imagine the season they've had. Obviously, health
awful.
is health, but Luka's gonna play. He's got to.
I mean, if you're going to do those flights, there's got to be something to it. By the way, we heard so many times how long about LeBron dragging a team of cadavers out there when he was in Cleveland and then got what he did done. If he was able to pull that off right now with these guys out, where would that rank in the LeBron totem pole of greatness?
It'd be impressive. Like, again, this is a guy that's 41, 42 years old who's basically been the third option all season long.
Sure.
He's had moments where he's been great. He's been very consistent. The guy's playing defense. The guy, his effort and everything that he's done, not just offensively, it's been unbelievable. It's been truly amazing. I've never seen a guy at this age, at this stature of his career, still be a dominant all-star, all-NBA type player. Like, it's just insane that we're watching this guy continue to produce the way he's producing. And whether he's in that USA team, point forward role where he can kind of get the offense going, initiate the offense, or he can be in attack mode, which looks like he's going to have to be that in this first round. I believe in him to do both. So this would be a huge accomplishment of already an insane resume, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. This would just be another wow moment for him to carry this team, past the Rockets.
Agreed. We got 21 years worth of great moments that we can pick from. And if he can put them in a position to get and see this thing through and be the Houston Rockets team, that's gonna go up there with everything that was talked about and they went through this year as a group. And for LeBron James to come out on top of this is definitely going to be something to be talked about. It's also going to be talked about. We might possibly see LeBron and KD in their last matchup in a playoff matchup. Both of those guys are getting up there and at the latter stages of their career. So that's going to be something to celebrate. So this means a lot for both of these guys in legacy, but especially for LeBron. Well, now that I think about it, for KD as well. New team, first opportunity in the playoffs. This means a lot on both ends, but LeBron's going to have to do some heavy lifting to even have that conversation.
You know why I like this series? Because either way, we're getting LeBron or Kevin Durant in the second round.
We are. This is a good point.
That's a fact.
It is a battle of the old
Which would you prefer?
greats.
LeBron.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I think that they're a better team. I think they've had a better season. I'd like to see
Okay,
them
but they
fully
don't
loaded in the
have-
next round.
But
Well,
that's
what I'm
not a
saying. I think that'd be
guarantee.
more impressive, too, for LeBron. But you never know how much time we have LeBron James. I want to see him go as far as possible.
I know, but what I don't want is for something to happen and the Lakers get there and neither one of those guys can even come back and now we just get what?
You know what? Selfishly, I know the Rockets are going to be good next year. They're going to get Fred back. They're going to get guys back.
Okay.
Who knows what this Lakers team's going to look like next
That's
year.
actually a fair point. We have no idea who's going to be on that team. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the Eastern Conference.
Starbucks does crushed ice in their ice coffee.
Okay, well, there you go. There's a tidbit.
How about that? That's new.
Is that new?
Crushed ice?
I've never had their ice stuff. You act like I drink. All right, let's tackle the East. Okay, so we will start with, New York, 3 seed. They clinched it with a win over the Raptors on Friday, which meant that the Cavs got the 4 seed. Yesterday determined their opponents as the Hawks, lost to the Heat. Raptors beat the Nets. Magic lost to the Celtics. So the Knicks will play the Hawks in the first round, while the Cavs will get the Raptors in the 4-5. Oh, okay. Yesterday there was a lot. My brain doesn't handle this stuff. Oh, it's too much math. Getting the Hawks in the first round, was that the worst case scenario for New York?
Again, I don't know if it's the worst or the best case, but there's favorable matchups, and I don't think the Hawks are a favorable matchup. I'll say that. And I don't know if you're looking ahead to who you'd rather play in the next round either, whether that's Boston or Detroit. But again, I think the Hawks are one of the hotter teams in the NBA. I think they match up really, really well with the Knicks. So I wouldn't necessarily want this matchup, but it's not like any other matchup would be a cakewalk. Like Toronto, I think was what I'd prefer, but like it's still going to be a dogfight. And so again, I think the Knicks, when they are on and they are rolling and they are, defending, and Karl Anthony Towns is the version that we know he can be, I think they're a better basketball team and they should be able to win this series. But if not, the Hawks can defend, they can grind you. They have so many guys that they can switch everything. They can double team, Karl Anthony Towns. They can pressure Jalen Brunson the pick and roll and switch the heavy dose pick and roll that makes him so effective. So I don't love the matchup for the Knicks, but I still think I give them the advantage. But man, the Hawks are rolling right now and they're playing better than anybody.
When you're done, this is the absolute worst case scenario for the New York Knicks.
I sugarcoated it?
Yeah, when you done giving us all the stats and all of that, listen, they're playing against an Atlanta Hawks team. They were dead on arrival and they resurrected themselves and got back in contention, got a guaranteed spot. And the most important thing of all, they are still playing with house money. They are still, there's no expectation level on the Atlanta Hawks, but who's the expectation on? Who's the pressure on?
All of it.
All of it is on the New York Knicks. So you're playing against a team that's fire hot, that's a really good basketball team, that check all of the boxes, got talent, love to play against each other, and think they can beat you. All of those things are a worst case scenario for a New York Knicks team that has had such a high expectation level. Listen, before Jaylen Brown went on the run that he did, we were talking about the New York Knicks in the East. Before Jaylen Brown went on that run. And then Detroit did what they did. But for the most part, consistently this year in the East, we were talking about the Knicks and finally turning that corner. Now you run into a Hawks team that's beaten you in the playoffs before, has been in this position before, underdog position, and now this one is worse. You don't have a Trae Young to look to for motivation. These guys don't talk trash. They go about their business. They just kick ass and keep moving. And now you're matched up with them in a 3-6 scenario to start the playoffs with. This is the worst case scenario because they could have played a lot of teams with similar situations that they have, but expectation level. Not the Atlanta Hawks. They're playing with house money. They're going to play free, and they're going to go out there and just try to embarrass you as much as they can because they know there's no consequence to it.
Yeah, and again, no Trae Young makes it a little less spicy of a series.
But for who?
There, but
Atlanta
like
probably
Lou
still
said,
can't stand New York.
But that's an advantage for the Hawks. Now there's no distraction. There's no hoopla of the villain going in town. These are just guys that keep their head down.
The New York's going to create one.
Oh, yeah, they will for
gonna
sure.
create
But
one.
I'm just saying, there's no headlines going into this with Trae Young returning to the Garden, and there's none of that.
Well, can I insert this, that maybe this is some bulletin board material? The Hawks didn't play their starters against the Heat. That's what got
It's like
them the 6th
they
seed.
wanted the Knicks.
Thank you. If you're the Knicks and you see that, aren't you like, excuse me?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, okay, they got what they wanted, and now we still have to go out and beat us in a series. And
I just
again,
think
I
it's
think if
awesome.
I'm the Hawks, I think I would have preferred the Knicks than the Cleveland Cavaliers. But it doesn't matter. Both those teams, either way, the series is going to be tough. I think, again, this is another series. We're looking at 6-7 games. Like, both the games, they had 2 wins by 3 points each, and they lost by 12 in the regular season. Like, these games were tight during the regular season. And again, if you win this series, you still then got to go through the Celtics. Then you still got to go through the Pistons or the Cavs. Like, eventually, you're going to have to play who you have to play. You
One
can't-
at a time, Chandler.
So one at a time. But again, do I think this is a favorable matchup for the Knicks? No way.
All right, so how many games? Who wins? You want to hot take us again?
I like it 6. I like it 6 either way.
Either way.
Which way?
Either.
Do it.
ATL.
Yeah, there you
Hawks
go.
If y'all want me to do it, but I like it.
Wow, that would be
Listen, I
crazy.
like this. I like this series either way. The New York Knicks, they have everything that they need to get there, but they got to put all of the hoopla and all of the stuff that we were hearing. Put all of that aside. This is what we're here for. We're here for the playoffs. We're here for the postseason. I want all of these guys to be the best version of themselves. But again, it's hard to look in overlook an Atlanta team that feel like they're playing with house money and they can be past disruptive. I like saying that teams can be disruptive. They are past that. They feel like they can beat this New York Knicks team. So I say
In the
6
first
either way.
round.
Timing is everything. I think they're playing the best basketball of this season. They are 19-5 since February 22nd.
Yeah.
Give me the Hawks in 6.
Oh,
Give me the Hawks in 6. I like them. They're a player just as good as anybody.
This is a big
Again,
deal,
this is a
though.
team unless Karl Anthony
you know
Towns
what?
is dominant and averages 25 and 12 and is the player that I know he can be.
he'll have a game or two like that. For sure.
And give the Hawks
Come
love.
at us, Knicks fans.
Oh, God.
And it's not as a crazy take as it sounds for us, right? Again, the hottest team since the All-Star break. That's
like we're saying they're going to sweep us.
That's a respect to the Atlanta Hawks. They've put themselves in a position to garner those type of votes from Chandler and I. So it's not crazy to say we feel really good about the Atlanta Hawks in the first round based on the chemistry that they have, based on how they're playing. They've given you 25 games to show you who they really are, and they're one of the best teams in the East since the All-Star break.
Okay, so let's just fast forward. If this were to happen and the Knicks were to lose in the first round, what was all of the firing of Thibodeau and all that? Like, this will just be chaos.
Well, that's another conversation.
I think there needs to be a change. And again,
yeah.
the Knicks are a different team now.
There need to be a change.
They're almost one of the better. They went from non-existent bench to one of the better benches, and so like the coaching change I think had to happen. It was inevitable.
Nope.
But also, I think teams think so short-sighted. They think that this team's a championship roster. Like, how do we get there? And then if this were to happen, they were to lose first round. You know, Thibodeau would love it, but like this.
Why is this stressing me out just thinking about it?
It would be. I'll tell you this: if they lose first round, Karl-Anthony Towns is not on the Knicks next year.
And Giannis 100% is.
That makes sense.
I like listen, but I'm thinking about it, and I like the matchups. Jalen Brunson having to deal with some dominant defensive guys, him being one of the most him being one of the most clutch players in the NBA. Like, Jalen Brunson is going to show up, he's going to show out, but they got enough guys that can keep fresh bodies on them to make it difficult for them in a 7-game series. So I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I want to see this Cat and Jalen Johnson matchup. There's a lot of good matchups in this series. That's going to be a game inside of the game. I don't know which way it's going to go, but again, I like Jalen Brunson. I love his game. I think he's going to be one of the best players in this series, but when you talk about a collective in the playoffs, the Atlanta Hawks, they check the boxes.
And
when they clip this, by the way, and put it on the internet, shout out my buddy Kirk. This is not me. I didn't say you guys were going to.
That's fine. Clip it up.
That's
Clip it up.
And who's gonna step up for the bench of the Knicks, right? Is Alvarado, Clarkson, Deuce McBride, Shamet. Like, they got to have 2 or 3 of those guys, along with the Josh Hart, OG, Bridges trio. Like, they have to be great, and they have to match the intensity and the athleticism and the versatility of this Hawks team, because the Hawks match up really good. Think about the year Alexander Walker's having.
Sure.
Jalen Johnson, Kuminga, Dyson Daniels, Richeche. I love saying that.
You really do.
Like, those are 4 guys right there. That
C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum
is a
You
name
forgot the old.
Well, I was thinking
man.
like 6'7", like the wings that match up with OG and Bridges and Hart. C.J. McCollum, yeah, and then Okongwu's having a career year. Like, the Hawks are loaded, man.
You know somebody.
I'm surprised that they
Buddy Hield is over there.
He hasn't even sniffed the court.
He had a good game. You just highlighted my guy Bryant. Buddy Hield had a great night last night, so he might get thrown in
Get you a
there. Don't do
BH
that.
jersey. Good, you're down with it.
My point is, I'm almost right now. If I just watch the last 10 games,
I agree
I would
with you
think
on
the
that.
Hawks are the 3 seed
Yes.
and the Knicks are the 6 seed.
That's actually fair.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just a tale of
If
two
they would have
halves.
started this season the way that they played in the second half of it,
Right.
that
Fair.
would have been the scenario. Again, this is a team that we were talking about battling for a play-in position, and they got all the way to a guaranteed spot by their style of play and by the way that they played. And so if they would have been this team at the beginning, I'd like to say that they might have had an opportunity to be a 3 or 4 seed like the New York.
I mean, they could have easily been the 5. I think that they did that on purpose.
Woulda, coulda,
They
shoulda.
did this in a month.
Yes, exactly. Mikal Bridges yesterday extends his streak to 638 games. It's the
Did he?
8th. Well, we're going to get into that. 8th longest streak in NBA history, but he only played 23 seconds against the Hornets. That extends the streak. Mike Breen, shout out, said that it is absolutely legitimate. He deserves this. He also went on to say that he would play his normal minutes, but they, of course, got to get him a little bit of rest for the playoffs. Now, this is all against the backdrop of the 65-game threshold for all the big awards. Is this streak legitimate?
Yes, it's absolutely legitimate.
Okay.
And again, if this was a game that meant something, he would have played. The streak would have continued based on where they are in the season. They need him for the postseason, so he played his 23 seconds and he got a streak to keep going. But it wasn't like it was a ceremonial thing that they just throw him out there. Like, no, this is earned. When you talk about somebody that's played in 638 straight games, I don't need help. I don't need help. I'm willing to play. I've shown you I'm down to play. I'm willing to get out there with any of my teammates in any case, any scenario. It just wasn't the time last night. We just talked about this playoff series. But absolutely, that streak is legitimate. You can't take that away from him.
It's legit because if you look back at it 2 years from now, there's not going to say he played 23 seconds. You know what I mean? It's just going to say he was available, he played. And it's not like he was injured.
Big,
it's not like he was injured and they just put him in the game.
Ended at 637. Like, come on, man.
Like Lou said, it's not like he was hurt and they just put him in the game to get the streak. If he happened to need to play this game 30 minutes, he would have played the he would have played the game. Like,
I mean, he's still going through the process of the day, right?
It's like the quarterback taking the snap and then coming out just to get the bonus check, and like it happens all over sports. Now, I will say this: if you had a problem with the way like Bam had to go get the 83 points, you had a problem with all that, you probably have a problem with this too.
Probably.
But at the end of the day, this is a.
You're probably the same person that's probably never played. But go ahead.
I'm saying 630 a game. That's a high number for guys to never miss one game. And again, it's not like he was just subbing in to play.
That's an astronomical number.
And by the way, he's like eighth. Like there's like so many. AC Green's in the thousands. Bro.
Andre Miller wouldn't miss a game.
How do they
for
do
nothing.
that?
Yeah, he literally just passed him.
It's ridiculous.
He's moving on up that list with no end.
But yeah, so I think this is especially in today's age and everything and load management and all that. Like this is a huge.
This is impressive, by the way.
Yeah,
he's 6th in total minutes played this season. If that helps anybody who's
and knowing our rules, he probably doesn't even qualify for postseason.
Yeah, no, he had
I can't. That gave me a headache all weekend long.
He had to play 36 seconds to qualify for the 65 game rule.
In the East, we've also got the Cavs. They will face Toronto in the first round. Then potentially the Pistons in the conference semis. I don't know. Again, we've said this over and over again, Chandler, but there's no easy path to any of this. However, perhaps there are slightly easier paths. Is this one of them or no?
I think it's a favorable matchup for them. Okay. I think when they're fully healthy, James Harden in the lineup, they're 19-7 with him. It's a different dynamic. It's another guy I want to see him play his best basketball in the postseason. I would love to see James Harden survive and advance and continue to kind of lead this team with Donovan Mitchell to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're that good. I've been high on this team all season long. I think a 4th seed is kind of exceeding expectations based on the year that they had last year. I thought this was going to be a 1 or 2 seed. It is what it is, though. They have home court advantage. They got Jared Allen back. They got Max Strus back. like they're going to have to get to either way, again, take care of business first with the Raptors, and then it's either the Pistons, Celtics, or Knicks. Either way, no matter how you draw it up, you're going to have to go through those teams. And I think they have a good chance.
Yeah, I think it's favorable, but I don't think it's easy. I really don't think it's easy. Scotty Barnes, what B.I. has been able to do this year, and listen, Quickly has been great this year. He hadn't really got a light shined on him. But listen, man, R.J. Barrett and all of those guys in Toronto, no pushovers. And if you've ever played for the Toronto Raptors, you naturally have this chip on your shoulder that you want to prove something to the rest of the league because you kind of feel like you're disconnected from everything else. So, I like Cleveland. I like Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. This is a great opportunity for them to move forward, but don't overlook the Toronto Raptors by a long shot.
I would not.
This is a team also on the other side, Raptors, they've kind of blown expectations out of the water. They've been consistent. They've kind of been right there in the middle of the pack, competitive. And again, the names Lou just mentioned, these guys are also versatile. They can also score the basketball. They can present challenges to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I don't want the Cavs to sit here and take it lightly and think this is going to be a cakewalk sweep, because it probably won't be, and the Raptors will be ready to go.
Yeah, I feel like people might accidentally overlook Toronto. I probably wouldn't do that. Taking a quick break on the other side. Award ballots? You guys did yours?
Yeah, we got to vote.
Stop it. No, you don't.
No, we don't.
But we have one in this room.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, guys. Well, we have our unofficial official NBA awards done by Lou and Chandler. We'll start with MVP. Lou, take it away.
For MVP, I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I got SGA. I think he's been most consistent out of this season with everything that they've been through, injuries and all. He has still been able to lead this team to a #1 seed, favored to be the defending champions and favored to be the back-to-back MVP. I've made this case all year long, so I don't really have anything new to add to this. He's just been one of the most dominant guys in the league. With a league of so many different guys qualifying and deserving of this award, he's been the most consistent for me, so I got SGA.
Yeah, I agree. I'm running out of good things to say about this guy. He's just the most consistent, best player on the best team. And he's productive, he defends, he's doing it all without even playing half the fourth quarter sometimes. So he's unbelievable, he's clutch, he's consistent. He is everything you want in a star player, so he deserves to go back-to-back here.
All right, we'll go to Rookie of the Year. A lot of dialogue on this one towards the end of the regular season.
Yeah, this one was a little tough, and I have Con Knipple winning it because I think, again, he's been the most consistent rookie on a relevant team. Cooper Flagg has made an unbelievable push. I still think Cooper Flagg is the best player in this draft. I think he will be the best player in this draft. I think he is an absolute stud. That being said, Colin Knippel's team has about 20 more wins, and he's got a chance to play in the play-in and possibly get to the postseason, which matters. So the season he's had a historic rookie season. He can shoot the ball just as good as anyone else in the league, and his game's going to continue to be consistent throughout his career as long as he stays healthy, and he deserves to win Rookie of the Year.
I love that.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year is the one award that you don't really factor in a lot of the winning because a lot of that responsibility usually isn't a rookie's. But he's been able to do some things, and he's been able to make NBA history. Anytime you make history in your first year, you got to consider that. And the run that the Charlotte Hornets have been on, Con has been dead in the middle of it and very, very much responsible for a lot of that success that they're having. So for that, I think Con is my Rookie of the Year.
Shout out Cooper Flagg, though. The push he
Absolutely.
made and the expectations that they've been on
Nice
him all year
try,
long.
Cooper.
He is there. He is a stud, and I can't wait to see him play next year.
Yeah, he'll be just fine.
Put some pieces with Cooper. He's going to turn that corner.
He's an all-star next year, so who cares about Rookie of the Year?
For sure.
There we go. I don't know. He's going to be fine. He's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
DPOY.
Do we even have to do this?
Lou.
Yeah, Defensive Player of the Year.
Wait, hold on. Shout out Mama Williams.
Yeah,
This is first-
shout out Mama J.
Here we go.
She got the exclusive, fresh off the press
shirt.
from Mama J. So we got to go with Victor. We got to go with Wemby. I don't see anybody who's been able to alter shots and to have an impact on games on a defensive end the way that this guy have. It's guys that we just seen Zion look little right there.
He did look
and that's
little.
somebody that plays above the rim better than anybody else in the league. We have some of the most athletic guys in the world driving to the rim and kicking it out because they don't want to have to deal with Wemby in the paint. Never seen this type of impact. I don't even know who would be a runner-up.
Neither does he.
Neither does he.
I don't even know who would be a runner-up for this award. It's Wemby by a long shot.
That's why we were sweating the 65 games. Like,
Yeah, I was going to say, I obviously have Wemby as well. And you know why the 65-game rule is stupid, Lou? Just one reason why. He could have played 37 games this year, and I still would have voted for him to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't care how many minutes. I don't care how many games. This guy is the best defensive player in the NBA by a landslide. It's not even close. The shots that he alters. Guys don't even take shots 50% of the time if he's in the general area. He is that intimidating and scary defensively. He's unbelievable. He's going to win this award probably the next 10 years.
I love that for him. One of many to come. All right, here we go. How about most improved? This one doesn't get as much flash.
It doesn't get enough flash. And then, by the way, there's like 6 or 7 guys that could have won this award. To me, it's Jalen Duren. I think this guy has turned himself into a household name. He is an absolute man-child, first-time All-Star. Again, I always talk about Team USA. This guy has put himself in a position to be the starting center legitimately on Team USA come Olympic time. He went from 12 points a game to damn near 20, 10 rebounds to 11 rebounds. And not to mention, he is the #2 option on the #1 team in the Eastern Conference. That's got to count for something when we're talking about impact and success. So the fact that, he was good last year, solid. I think last year he averaged 12 and 10. That's pretty good for such a young guy. He took his game to the next level this year, and I think it's his to win.
I think this was Chandler's preseason pick, and he just stuck with it. Because if you've seen what Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been able to do for the Atlanta Hawks,
Not a bad pick.
It's no secret that he should be the MIP. Last year on the team that he was on, we just said, this is a serviceable guy. He's a pretty good pro. Now you get to the Atlanta Hawks, this dude is a stud. That's why it's so important for young guys in their careers to find a situation that works for them and be somewhere where you can shine and show you're a true genius. Him finding Atlanta or Atlanta finding him, that was one of the best moves that they could have made, and he's been a beneficiary of it. I got Nall for my MVP.
You know why I don't have a problem with that either? The dude's 27, so it shows you that it doesn't matter your age. You can continue to get better and continue to work on your game. And again, I think he went from 9 or 10 points a game to 20 points, so he doubled his offensive production points per game.
How are you voting against that when you say that out loud?
Well, because so did Jalen Duren. His team is much
Is he
better.
older than SGA or young? I don't look that up. I'm not putting.
Who's the older cousin?
Yeah, who's the older?
I'm just saying
cousin?
the fact that he is 27 and has gotten this.
Oh, so
it's like a career year. 27 is pretty cool.
It's not bad. Sixth man. Hold on, let me get this ready because I'm pretty sure I know where this is going.
By the way, we agreed on everything.
Who we got?
Yeah, if you look around the league, it was some guys that had great impacts and had great individual numbers with their stats. But what Keldon Johnson has been able to do for the Spurs with so much talent around him and for him to still stick out and to be a big factor for this group, man, he's been great. And you know, this is an award that's personal to me, so I got to give it to KJ for this year. Sixth Man of the Year for sure, coming out of San Antonio.
Yeah, I agree. And when you think of the Spurs too, they're so talented, they're so deep, but he's kind of the heart of their team. He is the muscle of their team. Anytime there's a dust up, anytime there's a situation, he's the one that's
shaved his
there.
head and everything.
He's the old man on the roster. He's been there the longest.
He's all in. I loved him coming out of Kentucky, honestly. Then I think he was even, remember that one summer he was on Team USA and he was playing for Pop, and like that was where he kind of really put on notice that this guy can do everything. He's not just this tough, versatile defending wing. He can do a little bit of everything, and he's done that for the Spurs this year, averaging 13, 6, and 2. He's consistent. I think he's played all 82 games. Like the guy is just reliable. Yeah. I love him.
Two Spurs in the awards. What a time to be alive. Coach of the Year, Chandler. Why am I asking?
Coach of the Year, we got to go quick here. I think it's JB Bickerstaff. Just the turnaround. There's a lot of other good candidates. What Missoula's done in Boston is unbelievable, and what Mitch Johnson's done in San Antonio is unbelievable.
You can slow down a little bit.
But JB Bickerstaff, from where they were last year to this year to #1 seed with that roster, again, no discredit to Missoula and Mitch Johnson, but get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta reward consistency. And JB and his team, they've been there all year. He's been willing to fight with his guys. He's been willing to get thrown out of games and argue. And on top of that, be a great X and O coach and get them to the place that they've been. Consistency wins this year for me. Coach of the Year is JB.
Love that. Guys, we take a quick break. More Run It Back on the other side.
How fast?
2 Spurs in the award.
Run it back.
You'd be surprised if you're not the unanimous winner for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, I would.
He ain't lying.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen, right?
Who had a problem with that?
Well, I ask you because eventually somebody's going to be like, he's arrogant. Do we think that's coming?
Not when it's this far spaced out from 1 and 2. Like if this was Jalen Duren saying this about most improved, or this was even SGA saying this about MVP, could be taken wrong. There's no one even close in the same stratosphere of a defensive player and the impact that he does. So I think he's said some stuff this year that could be a little taken the wrong way and possibly by some.
I just think he's sensitive.
Yeah, I respect it. I like it. The guy plays to win. The guy wants to play hard in the All-Star game. The guy wants MVP. The guy, he's different. We've never seen someone this uncut and genuine and not hiding behind his agent's words, or he just faces the cameras.
And also, he's being asked these questions.
He is being asked the question.
Yes,
also, it is the right answer.
They are asking him these questions, and those are the right answers. So, do we not want our superstars to be confident in what's going on? Like, you're asking him that question because you already know what the answer. You know what the answer is.
It's also, if someone doesn't vote for him for defensive player, they should lose their vote.
They should be ostracized.
It's not even close.
Okay, but can I give you some example of perhaps where backlash may in fact be starting? That the Athletic, shout out, does the unanimous player poll, and in that, he was voted 6th in MVP voting. So do we think amongst players he will start to be the guy that they're like, ugh?
Again, the player polls, as we know, you barely even fill that thing out.
No, but Sam Amick, I think, said they had like a pretty good showing for
100 and some out of, and I'm telling you as a matter of fact, no disrespect to Sam, we don't care.
No.
Damn.
I might have had my rookie fill out mine before.
Thank you. Like I don't know that I've ever filled one out seriously.
Yeah.
It's not.
You guys are not taking your civic duties.
No, because we're competing against these people. I wish I would.
I'm just picking my teammate.
Yeah,
when James Harden was in the hunt, I would just vote James Harden for everything. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care.
Thank you. Don't ask the players. We don't care.
So then, somebody filled it out to the point where he got 6.
He said they got like 130 some votes. Figure out how many rookies there are in the NBA.
I bet you he wasn't 6th in Defensive Player of the Year. Like,
guys,
what was that?
This hurts my sentimental heart.
How many rookie and second-year guys?
I don't know.
Agree with Chandler. I'll come in, and if it's on my seat, I'm literally going to put it in somebody else's seat, and I'm going to keep going about my day.
I'm going to vote for other guys that I'm playing against and competing against. I could care less.
You know what? I'm gonna take a long break till
Let's talk about it tomorrow.
Bobby Portis, Damon Stoudemire. Okay, tomorrow we'll talk.
Got a day.
Doozy. Might go out tonight.
Shame.
Damon Stoudemire.